Welcome back to A Walk in My Universe. Most of what I'm going to be bringing about is things that I learned a long time ago. They've been reinforced and I've added to my ability to understand them. And I kept them between my ears for a lot of years because I found that very few people could understand what it was I was talking about. They just kind of looked at me like, well, okay. I've begun to realize now that people are starting to tap into this knowledge. And the main reason for what I do is to try and help people understand better what they're learning, verify the things that they're learning. But today we're going to do something totally different. Today we're going to go into a realm that can affect anybody that's ever had a problem with weight. I was actually up to 350 pounds. I jumped off the back of a pickup truck at a junkyard. I just pushed the refrigerator off. And I couldn't land with my feet together. I had to land in kind of an awkward position. And the doctors tell me that that jump broke the L2, L3 in my back. And that's been a never-ending source of problems for me. But it's kept me from being able to exercise and do the things that I should be doing to try and lose weight. I have tried the high-carb diet, the low-carb diet, a lot of different diets. And I was looking for something that would actually help me, that could fit the situation I was in. And I found something that's generically available to everybody. Now, one of the things, and again I'm going to walk out there for just a minute, I put things out there. When I say put them out there, if I have a thought or if I need something, I think about what it is I need, and then I leave it alone, and I let my brain do the walking for me. Let it find what it is I need. And in doing so, I was in a position which I call this position heal thyself. I'd been asked a question by a young lady when we were discussing healing and technique. And she said, well, are you completely healed? Well, yeah, I have a few maladies that are based almost entirely because of my weight. And I had to say no, which was kind of disturbing, considering I show people how to do healing. And I thought, well, maybe I'd better fix that. And of course, I put it out there, and I ran into, I got a book. It was from Bottom Line. It's called The Bookshelf of Wisdom. As I was reading through it, I found a basic diet that's been around for a long time. It's called the rice diet. Now, I'm going to ask that you guys that don't like rice don't freak out. They call it the rice diet because that is one of the main staples of the diet itself, and it works. It's not everyday eating rice. No, it's you kind of get to choose a little bit in what you do. But what it did was it answered a lot of the problems that I had. Considering that a Big Mac or a double Big Mac and fries and a drink are all the calories a person should consume in a day. I think everybody knows that we're told to stay under 1,200 calories. How do you do that? I found something online years and years ago called Mike's Calorie Counter, and tried to log everything that I ate in a day. And it helps you to understand what you're eating, but it doesn't help modify your eating. You're still, are you eating the right things, the wrong things? I also have to add to this, because of my wife's issues. She's a 27-year cancer survivor, and nutrition is a very big thing on people that would like to lived through cancer. And so there's a lot of things that I learned there that helped me to understand this a little bit better than maybe some people will. But the bottom line was, it's been around since 1939. This diet was invented by a Dr. Walter Kemper, and it was designed to treat obesity, diabetes, heart disease, hypertension, and renal disease. It operated as a part of the Duke University in Durham, North Carolina, and it did so for about 69 to 70 years. Now, why am I just hearing about it today? It was a very, very expensive program. Not because of the diet itself, but because of the support group I would imagine that they had around there at the time, trying to make sure that, people didn't have any issues. But if you look at some of the overweight people, and, we don't really know who in society, but you had to have money to be able to go there. And you'll see movie stars that, all of a sudden lost a lot of weight. Chances are they went to visit these guys. And I know nothing beyond that and what they tell us on the internet. The doctor himself described it as a monotonous, tasteless diet. Claimed it never become popular. And the only defense of his program was, it works. And the alternative at the time, which is really what happened to it, at the time you could either do the diet or die. Now today they've got pills for everything, diabetes, for obesity, for heart disease, for hypertension, for renal disease. The problem with the pills that they give you is that they don't cure anything. They just mask the symptoms and allow you to go on destroying yourself and doing bad things, and et cetera, et cetera. But I had to try the diet. I had to find out, is this something that's going to work? I have a bear of a time losing weight. I can stay tuned in for so long. The best thing that worked for me was to eat one meal a day at night after work, and that helped me lose weight. I don't think that was a very healthy thing to do, but if you do what works. And again, I've tried the other diets, the high carb, the low carb, the whatever. Too numerous really to go into, but none of them seemed to do what they wanted. And in reading more about it, I found that a lot of the initial weight loss that you have with something is the loss of water weight. So everybody goes, "Oh yeah, I lost a lot of weight." How do you get beyond that? And will this diet actually take you beyond that? Well, and I was going to share with people pictures of what I look like, but I don't think anybody wants to be subjected to what I looked like when I was way overweight. But just to give you an idea, this belt used to be too small for me. This belt used to be too small for me. I couldn't wear it. And I actually got rid of the bigger belt because it was so doggone big. Got a whole pile of clothes that I've been throwing out now because they just don't fit, and I don't even want to go back into fitting them. And I found that this diet is an on-demand type of a diet. They tell us that a man will lose 30 pounds a month. A woman will lose 20 pounds a month. That's your average. Now, I wondered how that was going to be affected by somebody that could not actively exercise, which is, that's me. And I started on the diet, and I found out that if you stick to it, and it's very unforgiving, of course, all diets are, but if you stick to it, you will lose, at least I was losing, a pound to a pound and a half a day. I had some amazing results that I didn't expect. I mean, I was going for just the weight gain. But I found that I was starting to get cold at night when I was sleeping. And it took a little while, but all of a sudden I realized that I was having blood sugar drops. Regular. Now, this had nothing to do with the first 3 days. In the first 3 days of starting the diet, you do what's called a cleansing. When you do that cleansing, that's it's almost like you got a cold. You got mucus. You got things that are, but your body's clean. This was different. I was cold, and it occurred to me that I was taking too much blood sugar medication. So I cut my medication in half. Now, I went in 3 weeks after cutting it in half to get my H1C. And I had a better H1C. Now, every 3 months I do that. I had a better H1C after having cut it in half, having lost the weight, than I ever had before. And I, unfortunately, it was a 5.8 or something, but it was, they said, well, whatever you're doing, keep it up. I've lost a bit more weight now, and I've cut it down to a quarter, and in fact, I haven't told the nurse yet. I want to see my next H1C test, but I've cut it down to using just 25% of what I used to take, and I only do it once a day now. Because if I take it twice a day, if I do, half of what I did before, or actually a quarter of what I did before, I freeze at night. My blood sugars drop. So it's been something of a change for that. I was also told to drop my thyroid medication. My thyroid seems to be kicking in now and it's starting to work. I guess it works better if you're not pushing through so much weight. The only problem that I had, and you'll find this when you go up online, and maybe it's changed. I mean, it's been 6 months or so since I found this and started. I could find 1,000 or 2,000 or whatever, maybe 12,000 different rice diet. I didn't find anybody that would give me the diet. What is it that you're doing? And keep in mind, this was a doctor that structured this, and I would understand from looking at the diet itself that the doctor was concerned with your body's nutrition, making sure you get enough of the spice of life to help you stay healthy, keep healthy, live healthy. And it works. Now, I did fall off the wagon for Christmas, and I'm beating myself in the head because I gained back some of the weight that I'd lost. But again, all I've got to do now is cut out the chocolate, the sweets, and go back to the diet to lose that weight. And I want to drop down to the weight that I was at when I was in high school. It's probably going to take me a few weeks to do that. But I'd like to share with you what I've been given as the rice diet. Now, there's 3 parts to it. Part number 1, week number 1, they want you to stay under or around 800 calories, not 1,200, but 800. So the diet goes like this. For breakfast, you can have 1/2 cup of whole grain cereal, or 1 slice of whole wheat toast, 1 cup non-fat milk, or yogurt. You can have 1 piece of fruit. Me, it's Wheaties with a banana in it and a little bit of milk. I don't pour all my milk in there because I like cream in my coffee, and so I use powdered creamer and I add a little milk so it gives me that, creamy-like taste. For lunch, and lunch and dinner are interchangeable. I found that I preferred to go with the reverse of what they're saying. But, well, let's just go through the diet. 1 cup brown rice and or beans, or 1.5 cups of cooked grain, oats or barley, plus a starchy vegetable, potato or corn, or pasta. So a 1/2 cup of any one of those, in addition to your rice. You get 3 cups of raw vegetable in a salad, or 1.5 cups of cooked broccoli, plus 1 cup, and it says fresh fruit salad. What I found is these are interchangeable. You eat the fruit that you like. You're basically allowed to have the rice and a potato, vegetables, 3 cups of vegetables, and a cup of fruit or an apple or whatever. It works. 1 cup cooked rice Now, they say brown rice. I'm using white rice. I understand that there's not a giant difference. There's probably a bit of a nutrition difference. But I like the white as opposed to the brown. Just a personal thing. So anyway, for dinner, you get 1 cup of cooked rice or beans, a cup of beans, or 1.5 cups of cooked grain. So it's pretty much the same as lunch. A starchy vegetable, which is a potato or corn. You're not supposed to have both. Or you can have pasta, which would be replacing the potato or the corn. 3 cups of raw cabbage. No. I have a giant salad to replace that. You can have a cup of berries. And again, you're going back to the fruit. This is basically a fruit and vegetable diet. It's all pretty much natural. It all goes to helping your body have everything that it needs to help you to become healthy and to lose weight. Now, after that, you get week 2. And you stay on week 2 until you reach whatever goal you have in weight loss. And what that is, and it doesn't change a lot, but it's a 1/2 cup of whole grain cereal or 1 slice of whole wheat toast, 1 cup non-fat milk or yogurt, not both, 1 cup of fresh berries, pretty much the same, plus 1 tablespoon dried cherries or 1 tablespoon all fruit jam. You can have a little bit of sweet with it, but again, it should be, the berries or the jam. We all know that's going to have some kind of sugar in it, so okay. For lunch, you can have 1 cup cooked brown rice or a cup of beans or 1.5 cups of cooked grain, a starchy vegetable, which is potatoes or corn or pasta, 1/2 cup steamed broccoli or 1 cup of raw carrots, 1 cup melon or fresh strawberries. For dinner, you can have 2/3 cup brown rice, 1/3 cup of beans, a cup of raw spinach, 1 cup of steamed broccoli, and 1 cup fresh fruit salad. And if you eat that, now first you're going to find that there's actually a lot more food there than what you think it is. Very filling. It will stay with you. You're not going to... The only problem I have with it is chocolate. And chocolate is a world unto itself. And, Christmas came and my wife made candies, and it's nothing worse than gaining back some of the weight that you lost. The fortunate thing is, all you have to do is start back again. You don't even have to go to week 1. If you've overeaten in the sugar department, you can go back to the diet the next day and you'll find that you'll drop 2 pounds, or at least I do, drop 2, sometimes 3 pounds. That's how much chocolate and sugar, etc. I ate. And you're right back on track again. And you start losing weight. But you do have to stick to it, like anything else. When you get to phase 3, and this is the rest of your life, and it's called maintain your weight. 2 days a week you can add 3 ounces of fish or lean meat or eggs or nuts, tofu. If whatever you're eating helps you gain weight, cut back on whatever it is that you have. So they're not saying you can't have anything. They're not saying that you have restrictions. What I found is you eat your cereal in the morning with a banana or some kind of fruit, and I've actually gone to adding peanut butter to my oatmeal, with bananas on top of it, and that gives me all of my calories for the morning. It's actually very filling, sticks with me until way after lunch. I've taken, because I was eating rice for so long, and really I love rice. I mean, I love fried rice, I love cooked rice, but they're wanting you to eliminate sugar. And for those of you who aren't aware of it, sugar in your body is pretty much like putting jet fuel in a car. It'll work, but it's going to burn up your car. And that's what sugar does. Your body actually has to fight to get rid of that sugar. Let's say a can of soda, I think it has 11 teaspoons of sugar in one can. It takes your body 72 hours before it can start doing anything to help your body. So when you think about drinking that can of soda, and believe it or not, once you eliminate it, you no longer crave it. I mean, it does take a few days. I don't even think about soda once in a while. And if I think about it strong enough, I'll go have one. I'll feel bad about it, bad enough that I don't go drink one again for a while. It doesn't have an adverse effect on what I was doing that day, although I may have lost that pound I was supposed to lose. If you get off, you're gonna pay for it. I also found that you can trade. What you have is a regulated amount of food that can be eaten in a day, and you can mix and match. You don't have to stick with exactly the way it goes. Okay, I've taken to. I like soup. I like bean soup. I like pea soup. I like pretty much any kind of soup. If you eliminate the meat, don't over season with salt. And I use lots of vegetables. My wife will look at that and go, "How'd you get all them in there?" Because I need the vitamins from the vegetables, and that's what I eat during the day. And in the last couple of weeks, I've been doing. I just made some new bean soup, and then at night I'll have a giant salad, and I will probably throw, because we got some boiled eggs, I'll probably throw a boiled egg and make it a chef salad. I go pretty light on the dressing, but you kind of want something to give it a little flavor, But there's always carrots. I found that I like broccoli and cauliflower raw. I like spinach raw. I don't like spinach cooked. But you don't add you don't have cheese on your broccoli, and I actually had a couple of cheese sandwiches the other day, and that cost me my lunch. In fact, I gained a pound, and I thought I'd stuck pretty close to, because I dropped a lot of other things. But they leave them on the diet for a reason. You need to go back and copy this. You can listen to it, slow down, write this down. What I did is I actually took the time and I made myself a copy of what is allowed in a day. And I color-coded them, so I know, if it's breakfast, lunch, dinner, whatever. But all I did was I took the individual things and put them in little boxes, so now I can cut this apart. And as I eat things during the day, I turn that card over, and when you're done with the stack, you're done with what you eat for that day. But with me, if I don't remember exactly what I ate, or, gee, did I have that today or yesterday, there's no problem with that, because the cards, I turn them face down, and the ones that are shining, that are showing up, are the ones that I can eat. The only thing I haven't done is I want to assign a calorie count. What is a half cup of whole grain cereal? What's the calories in that? And then I can look for a replacement. Now, I haven't tried that yet. If you want to have an egg instead of what's the difference in calorie count? You have to be able to stay under the count. The only way that that's possible is if you're eating fruits and vegetables, because you can eat a lot of vegetables and not exceed your calories. But you will get the nutrition that you need. And I think one of the reasons, again, that they put in the broccoli, they're specific on cabbage, that kind of thing, is that they want you to have that extra iron. They want you to have that extra whatever that vegetable has. They want you to have that in your diet to help round things out and to help you stay healthy. But it has worked. It is working. It's not, I can put a thumb in there. And the best part about it is, I don't have to pay Jenny Craig. I don't have to pay any of those guys that are barking at me on the screen. Oh, hey, guys, spend some money with me, and I'll give you a shake that'll help you lose weight. Okay. I mean, I understand some people are into that, and they go for it, but for those of you who need results and don't have the money to invest in somebody else's program, this is something, again, it's been around for 69 years. You can look it up on the internet. You can find out more about it. And it is £1 a day. Now, what I've given you is what I got. The only diet that I was able to find. I found a lot of people that said you can make this, you can make that. You know, they give you recipes for the rice diet. But it doesn't tell you what. This actually gives you a basis to go by. Hopefully. And again, guys, gals, if you under a doctor's care, check with them, let them know what you're doing. My experience with that is, I'll tell them, because they look at me like I nurse that I've been seeing forever. She said, "What's different about you? Did you, what'd you change?" She didn't even realize that I'd lost, and she puts me on a scale every time I go in there. She didn't realize that I'd dropped 30 pounds. It made a big difference. But, that's how attentive I guess they are. Me and the other girl, we just kind of laughed about that because, she noticed. It was a weight loss thing. And I'm seeing benefits from it. Actual, real, helpful benefits, being able to cut down on my medications, and in fact eliminating some of my medications. I want to be without them in a fairly short period of time. I don't like medications. I had my first experience with hives, with that body rash that you get all over. You wish you had never taken the medication you took. That's my first, and hopefully my last. And what it's done is it's turned me off almost completely on medications. There's better ways to do this. There's healthy ways to do it. Anyway, this was something that I wanted to be able to provide to people if it's something that they need. And I'd like to thank you guys again for stopping in for a visit of my universe. Have an absolutely wonderful day.